It was the summer of 1783, in a small town near the shores of what would one day be known as the Mississippi River. Captain Elias Harper, a man of unmatched curiosity and tenacity, was preparing for an expedition that could either crown him a hero or erase his name from history forever. Unlike the well-documented journeys of Lewis and Clark, Harper's mission had a peculiar secrecy. He carried letters sealed by unknown figures from Europe, urging him to explore the uncharted interior of North America, not for conquest or maps, but for a purpose far more extraordinary. Harper assembled a diverse crew: John Claude, a French cartographer who had escaped the Revolution; Anya, a woman disguised as a man, claiming knowledge of native traditions and medicinal herbs; and Thomas, a young linguist eager to decipher the cryptic symbols in Harper's letters. Their expedition began at dawn, with whispers from the townsfolk who warned of spirits in the forests and rivers that disappeared without warning. Within days, the team discovered evidence that no European explorer had ever reported: remnants of settlements predating the supposed native tribes, strange artifacts crafted from materials unknown to science, and inscriptions hinting at a civilization that once thrived in secrecy, coexisting alongside early human settlements. Harper was both terrified and exhilarated. Each night, around the fire, he meticulously recorded every detail, suspecting that the world was far stranger than anyone dared to imagine. As they ventured further, an unexpected storm forced them to seek shelter in a cavern deep within a hidden valley. It was here that Harper stumbled upon an object that would alter the course of their journey: a metallic sphere, engraved with patterns that seemed almost alive, shifting subtly as one looked at them. The crew debated its origins. Was it a remnant of a forgotten civilization, or something extraterrestrial, as some feared? John Claude, ever the rationalist, insisted that history had yet to reveal such marvels, while Anya suggested it was a key, a guide to a lost city. Their discovery sparked a mix of awe and paranoia. Each night, strange lights flickered around the valley, and whispers seemed to rise from the riverbanks, carrying words none could understand. Thomas, poring over the sphere's inscriptions, realized they were a mix of known languages and unknown glyphs, an intricate code that might hold secrets of immense power. Harper knew that whatever lay ahead would challenge not only their courage, but their very understanding of human history.
The morning after the storm, the valley revealed its strange beauty under the pale sun. Trees taller than any Harper had seen swayed gently in a wind that seemed almost deliberate, as if the forest itself were alive and observing them. The river, now calm, reflected a sky that flickered with unnatural hues, pink merging into gold in ways that defied normal dawn light. The crew set out cautiously, guided by the mysterious sphere. Thomas examined the glyphs, now using charcoal to sketch them on parchment. He discovered patterns resembling maps, intertwined with astronomical charts. "Look here," he said, pointing to a symbol resembling a constellation unknown to modern Europe. "These coordinates, they don't exist on any map I know, yet they're pointing us deeper into the valley." Anya, who had quietly been watching the riverbank, suddenly stiffened. She whispered, "We're not alone." Harper immediately felt the weight of her words. They had begun seeing fleeting shadows between the trees, movements too deliberate to be wild animals. Something or someone was observing them. As the expedition moved further, they stumbled upon ruins, half swallowed by moss and roots. Stone structures unlike anything from known Native American cultures emerged. Circular chambers, towering pillars, and murals depicting figures with elongated limbs and large eyes. Harper's journal filled with sketches and notes, his hand trembling from both excitement and fear. The murals told stories of trade, conflict, and an advanced civilization that seemed to possess knowledge of metallurgy, astronomy, and architecture far beyond the 18th century. Late that night, camped near a waterfall that roared like a living creature, Harper and his crew debated their next move. We are not merely explorers, we are witnesses to a history erased by time itself. If we can document this, the world will never see history the same way again. The sphere, lying beside Harper's tent, began glowing faintly as he spoke. Its patterns shifted rapidly, revealing a sequence Thomas recognized as a cipher. "It's pointing to a hidden entrance," he said, his eyes wide. "Not just to a building, a network beneath the valley." The following days were a test of endurance and courage. The valley seemed to challenge them at every turn. Sudden fogs that disoriented their paths, stone bridges over unseen chasms, and tunnels that twisted like labyrinths. Each obstacle was a puzzle, designed to keep outsiders from uncovering the secret below. Finally, after nearly a week of trekking, they found it. A massive stone arch, hidden behind a curtain of vines and water. The inscriptions on the arch matched the sphere's symbols perfectly. With a deep breath, Harper stepped forward, pushing aside the vines. The air smelled of earth, metal, and something else, something ancient, almost sacred. Inside, they discovered a network of chambers, walls covered in gold and strange crystalline structures that pulsed with light. In the center of the main hall, a pedestal held another sphere, larger than the one they carried. Harper felt a thrill mixed with dread. Whatever civilization had built this place had achieved knowledge humanity had long forgotten. Yet he could sense danger. Something that had preserved this valley's secrets for centuries was still watching. Suddenly, Anya gasped. From the shadows emerged figures, tall, cloaked, silent. Their eyes glimmered in the dim light, intelligent and assessing. Harper raised his hands, signaling peace, but Thomas whispered, "They are not hostile, but they are guardians. They know the valley's secrets, and they have been waiting." The largest of the figures stepped forward, speaking in a language that resonated deep within Harper's mind. Through gestures and fragmented understanding, they communicated a warning. History is fragile. Knowledge is dangerous. You must decide, reveal it, or protect it. Harper realized that this expedition was no ordinary discovery. It was a choice between rewriting human history or becoming part of a story hidden forever. The cloaked figures disappeared as silently as they had arrived, leaving Harper and his crew staring at the massive pulsing sphere in the center of the chamber. Its surface shimmered like liquid metal, and faint symbols rotated endlessly as if alive. Harper approached cautiously, feeling an almost magnetic pull from the artifact. Thomas examined the smaller sphere they had carried, now glowing in resonance with the larger one. "They're linked," he whispered, "like two pieces of a puzzle, or two keys to the same door." As Harper reached out to touch the sphere, a faint hum filled the chamber. Instantly, the walls around them seemed to shift. The murals, the crystalline structures, even the floor itself, rearranging into something that resembled a map. The murals transformed before their eyes, depicting not only the valley, but vast lands beyond, connected by rivers, mountains, and paths unknown to modern maps. This is a codex, Harper breathed. Not just a record of their civilization, but a map of hidden civilizations across the continent. They weren't just here, they were everywhere, influencing early human development in ways history has erased. Jean-Claude, ever skeptical, stepped closer. You mean to tell me these people shaped the course of nations but vanished without a trace? Yes, Harper replied, and perhaps deliberately. Look at the symbols here. They warn of something, a catastrophe. It seems they abandoned their settlements not due to war or disease, but because they foresaw danger beyond human comprehension. Thomas, poring over the glyphs, discovered references to celestial events, comets, solar flares, and a phenomenon described as the sky bleeding fire. According to the Codex, this civilization had advanced astronomical knowledge, predicting cataclysmic events centuries in advance. Anya, scanning the murals, suddenly froze. These figures, they are humans, or were humans. They resemble us, but their eyes, their features suggest something more. Evolution accelerated, or altered. She shivered. This knowledge, it's dangerous in the wrong hands. Harper realized the truth. Their mission was no longer merely exploration. The valley contained the blueprint of a civilization that could challenge everything humanity thought it knew about history, science, and even human origins. Weeks passed as they documented the chambers, deciphered glyphs, and cataloged the artifacts. But their secrecy was fragile. News of strange lights, unusual weather patterns, and mysterious disappearances in nearby settlements had begun to leak out. Harper knew others were searching for the valley. Treasure hunters, rogue scholars, and factions eager to claim knowledge that could reshape empires. One night, as the crew slept in tents near the river, Harper noticed shadows moving across the water. Figures emerged silently, armed men, their faces hidden by masks. Harper whispered urgently to Anya and Thomas, and the three moved silently to confront the intruders. The confrontation was tense but brief. Using knowledge of the valley's hidden paths, they managed to evade capture, but it was a warning. They were not alone in seeking the valley's secrets. This codex, Harper said, is a weapon, a key, and a map. In the wrong hands, it could destroy nations, or worse, rewrite history entirely. We must protect it. As Harper and his team delved deeper, they discovered a subterranean library, shelves carved from stone, filled with scrolls, crystal tablets, and codices made of unknown materials. The inscriptions detailed the rise and fall of civilizations predating known history, interactions with distant lands, and inventions centuries ahead of their time. Among the scrolls, Harper found what he later called the Chronicles of the Sky. It described an advanced people, capable of manipulating energy and understanding the universe in ways modern science could not. The texts hinted at a society that had vanished not due to failure, but by choice. A civilization aware that knowledge could be dangerous. Anya deciphered one passage. The balance of knowledge and power is fragile. Reveal the path too soon, and the world will not survive it. Harper's heart pounded. They were holding the truth that could rewrite everything, but also the danger that could annihilate anyone unprepared for it. Faced with mounting threats from outside factions and the delicate knowledge of the Codex, Harper and his team debated their next move. Should they bring the world this truth, risking chaos, or protect the valley, ensuring history remained as it had been recorded? The decision was made for them sooner than expected. One morning, a tremor shook the valley, and strange lights illuminated the cavern walls. The pulsing sphere reacted violently, projecting images, warnings of cosmic events, invasions, and human folly. The valley seemed alive, aware of their presence, and desperate to communicate. Harper realized that their mission was no longer exploration. They were now guardians, chosen or tested by a civilization long gone. The knowledge they possessed was both a treasure and a curse. "History will judge us," Harper said quietly, "but first we must survive it." The valley had settled into an uneasy calm, but Harper knew that peace was temporary. The pulse of the central sphere still resonated through the air, a heartbeat of a civilization that had vanished millennia ago. Every vibration carried a message, a warning that their intrusion was not unnoticed. Harper and his crew began carefully documenting the artifacts, creating detailed sketches and notes, while Anya used her knowledge of native traditions to interpret cryptic symbols. Thomas continued to study the glyphs, fascinated by patterns that resembled modern mathematics, astronomy, and even mechanics. "What we have here," Thomas said one evening, holding a translucent crystal etched with intricate diagrams, "is a manual, a guide to devices we haven't yet invented, energy sources, navigation systems, even weapons that seem impossible." Harper's mind raced. The implications were staggering. If this knowledge fell into the wrong hands, it could dominate nations or even endanger the world. And yet, the allure of discovery was irresistible. Late that night, the valley shifted once more. Tremors coursed through the cavern, and the crystalline structures glowed ominously. From the shadows emerged a figure, not one of the masked intruders from before, but one of the cloaked guardians they had seen weeks earlier. This time, the figure approached directly, speaking in a low, resonant voice that seemed to echo in Harper's mind. "To possess knowledge is to bear responsibility. Only those who understand can survive its weight. Fail, and the valley will reclaim what is lost." The Guardians revealed a series of trials, each designed to test courage, intelligence, and moral judgment. Harper realized these were not mere physical challenges. They were tests of character, designed to determine if humanity was ready for the Codex. The first trial led them into an underground chamber filled with holographic projections, scenes of civilizations destroyed, inventions misused, and natural catastrophes accelerated by ignorance. The images were accompanied by puzzles, riddles, and cryptic instructions, each one a key to unlocking the next chamber. Anya stepped forward, deciphering the patterns in harmony with Harper and Thomas. They solved the first puzzle, revealing a secret passage lined with glowing inscriptions. Each step forward felt like stepping deeper into the mind of the vanished civilization, understanding their fears, wisdom, and vision. In the next chamber, they discovered what Harper called the engine room, machines powered by crystals, capable of producing energy without fuel. One device projected light like the sun, illuminating the entire valley with a controlled radiance. Another mechanism seemed to manipulate the flow of water and air, hinting at advanced engineering centuries ahead of Harper's time. Harper and Thomas experimented cautiously. "If this technology existed today," Harper said, "it could solve energy crises, change warfare, even alter transportation. But it could also destroy everything if misused." Anya noted an inscription near the machines. Power without wisdom is annihilation. Choose the path of balance, or the vault will seal forever. As they explored the engine room, distant echoes reached them. Voices, the clatter of weapons. The masked intruders had found the valley. Harper quickly realized that stealth was no longer an option. Using their knowledge of the tunnels and secret passages, the crew set traps and misdirections. The valley itself seemed to assist them. The walls shifted subtly, guiding the intruders into dead ends, while lights flickered to signal safe paths for Harper's team. The confrontation was tense. Arrows, traps, and ingenuity pitted Harper's small team against a larger armed faction. Yet Harper's careful study of the valley gave them the upper hand. They captured one of the intruders, who revealed that powerful European interests had been tracking Harper since the expedition's inception, determined to claim the valley's secrets for themselves. Harper realized the stakes were higher than ever. They weren't just discovering history, they were protecting it. Every artifact, every codex, every invention in the valley was now a potential world-altering weapon. At the heart of the valley, they reached the final chamber of the Guardian's test. The ceiling opened to reveal a natural skylight, showing the stars above. Constellations aligned in ways Harper had never seen before, and the glowing sphere projected a map of celestial events. One projection marked a comet approaching Earth centuries in advance, exactly as the Codex had predicted. Harper understood. This civilization had mastered not only technology, but foresight. They had foreseen disasters and the fragility of human society. And now, through Harper, they were entrusting humanity with this knowledge, but only if humanity could prove itself worthy. Harper, Anya, and Thomas exchanged a look, knowing the journey was far from over. The valley had revealed its wonders, but the world outside was still oblivious, still dangerous. The real challenge, sharing or safeguarding these secrets, was just beginning. The valley had settled into an eerie calm, but Harper knew that calm was fragile. The glow of the central sphere reflected off the crystalline walls, casting shifting patterns that seemed almost like writing in motion. Each movement of the light revealed new glyphs, new clues about a civilization that had existed long before recorded history. Thomas, poring over the codices, suddenly exclaimed, "Harper, look at this!" He pointed to a set of symbols that corresponded with events in European history. The rise of empires, unexplained technological leaps, and mysterious disappearances of ancient scholars. This civilization, they influenced history more than we ever imagined. The Renaissance, the Enlightenment, even some early American settlements, they were guided, indirectly, by the knowledge preserved here. Harper's mind raced. The implications were staggering. Their discovery wasn't just about uncovering a lost civilization. It was about rewriting humanity's understanding of itself. Jean-Claude, the French cartographer, traced patterns in the Codex to letters and documents he had secretly brought from Europe. Among them were correspondences of a forgotten aristocrat, a scientist exiled during the French Revolution whose experiments mirrored devices found in the valley. "Elias," Jean-Claude said, "these aren't coincidences. The aristocrat's journals hint at someone or something passing knowledge across continents. Perhaps this civilization survived in secret, guiding humanity from the shadows." Anya examined symbols resembling Native American petroglyphs, realizing the connection between the valley and settlements far across the continent. They weren't isolated. They moved knowledge, preserved it, and influenced human development. But their methods were secretive, deliberate. They only revealed what humanity could safely handle. Harper understood. The Codex wasn't just a map or a record. It was a guide to understanding how knowledge shapes civilizations and how fragile that balance truly was. Just as they pieced together these revelations, the masked intruders struck. Using knowledge gleaned from local rumors and crude maps, they had found another entrance into the valley. This time, their attack was direct, armed, organized, and ruthless. Harper and his crew retreated deeper into the tunnels, using the Guardians' hidden passages to stay ahead. Traps and illusions set by the lost civilization slowed the intruders, but it became clear sheer force would not protect the valley forever. They needed strategy and alliances. Thomas proposed an idea. If the Guardians set these trials, perhaps there's a way to summon them. Maybe they can intervene and protect the valley. Anya nodded. But to do that, we must prove our worth completely, solve the final riddle of the Codex. In the heart of the valley, the largest chamber awaited, a circular room with inscriptions covering every surface. At its center, the pulsing sphere projected a holographic map of the entire known world, layered with symbols of civilizations lost to time. The Codex displayed a question, etched in light. Will you preserve the balance of knowledge, or unleash it upon the unready? Harper understood the gravity. Revealing the valley could advance humanity, but also destroy it if misused. Yet hiding it meant continuing a legacy of secrecy and restraint. He realized the answer wasn't simple. It required courage, wisdom, and selflessness. With Anya and Thomas, Harper deciphered the final instructions, a sequence of glyphs representing balance, stewardship, and restraint. Activating the pattern caused the chamber to hum, the sphere to glow brighter, and the valley itself to seem alive, acknowledging their choice. At that moment, the cloaked figures returned, this time fully visible, unmasked. They were ethereal, tall and commanding, with eyes that reflected centuries of knowledge. One stepped forward, speaking in Harper's mind. You have chosen wisely. Knowledge is power, but power without wisdom destroys. The valley's secrets are safe for now. The world is not ready. You, Elias Harper, are now its guardian. The masked intruders outside were unable to breach the valley's defenses. The Guardians had subtly altered the passages, sealing the invaders away without harm. Harper and his crew had survived the ultimate test, not only of intellect, but of morality.